Hey everyone, welcome back. We are live for another micro training. This one's going to be a live micro training. We're thrilled you're here. I'm here with my amazing, incredible, beautiful, talented wife, Amanda Robbins. Welcome.
And I am here with my amazing, super hot smoking, brilliant husband, Jarek Robbins. Welcome.
And so, where should we start?
All right, so let's recap where we've been so far. We have talked about F1 Formula race car drivers and preventing burnout and peak performance. We've talked about some ways that people have instilled these beliefs inside of them that they can actually perform at their peak and optimal levels with little or no sleep and really pride themselves on it. Unfortunately, it's become part of their identity. And so what we've done is done a little bit of myth busting with science-backed research and discussed why that's completely flawed thinking. And it's actually not what super performers do, what high achievers do. So if you're looking to up-level your performance, your mindset, your creativity, your resourcefulness, and just really tap into the best of who you are and your capabilities, right? To perform at your very best, to show up as your best and ripple that out into the world, then we're diving into this micro training today to help you not just understand what you need to do, but actually take action, because that's what's most important. It's one thing to understand what you need to do. It's quite another to actually live it and apply what you need to do to actually see change. This is important for you if you are a coach or a leader, a mother, a father. Actually, every human needs this stuff, but this is especially for high performers that want to up-level themselves and optimize their performance and help others do the same. So we first invite you to apply what we're going to share today and then share it with others so we can all rise together and really become the best versions of ourselves and stop with this burnout grind, like I'll sleep when I'm dead kind of baloney. And yeah, so I'll turn it over to you to jump into this training.
Okay, so let's start with the big idea. Understanding the critical role of sleep in enhancing your overall health, improving your mindset, and boosting your performance. Like Amanda said, we end up working with high performers, leaders, people who, if you took all the vehicles in the world, we work with people who would imagine themselves as an F1 race car, not a minivan, not a tow truck. Like, we're F1 race cars. We're people who are striving, we're driving, we're hungry for more. We're really going for it. And so we talked about the last couple of days, what happens if you mess this up? What happens if you don't really dial this part of your life in? Well, the first piece is a decreased cognitive function, which means you have impaired memory, reduced concentration, and slower problem-solving skills. Physical health risks include the risk of chronic disease like obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. Emotional instability, so heightened stress, anxiety, or susceptibility to mood disorders. And the ultimate consequence is a significant reduction in your overall life quality, potentially leading to chronic health issues, diminished mental health, and impaired professional and personal performance. We don't want that. If we're an F1 race car, we are driving and striving for high performance. We're not willing to have impaired performance and overall reduction of life quality. We want a high quality life. We want a high performing life. That's what we're aiming for. So what happens if we get this right? Well, enhance mental clarity. So improve focus, improve creativity, improve decision-making skills. Your boosted immune system, so stronger defense against illness and faster recovery when it does happen. Emotional resilience, better mood regulation, stress management, and overall emotional balance. And the ultimate long-term benefit is achieving a higher overall level of well-being, leading to a more fulfilling, productive, and healthy life. I personally think it's worth it. Now, my first question for you is, do you want those things? Do you want a better life? Do you want a happier life? Do you want a healthier life? Do you want more energy? For most of us, the consequences of not doing this right don't really hit us till later in life. So the problem is, you can do all these behaviors now and be like, I'm invincible. Nothing's going to stop me. But you're going to pay the price. You just have a delayed price to pay, which for most of us doesn't stop us or cause us to make better decisions until life straight wallops you upside the head with something like a chronic disease or Lyme disease or the inability to reproduce, or something that shows up, and all of a sudden we go, wow, holy smokes, how do I fix this? And then you see someone's entire life transform. Hopefully we can share this with you before you need to get walloped upside the head by life, and help save you the pain. I think I always tell people that I work with, the ultimate consequence of messing this up is either a heart attack, divorce, or bankruptcy. Those are kind of the big smacks that life will hit you with if you don't get this stuff right. And so how do we do it? Number one is we have to figure out what your current trend is. And I always tell people the trend can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And so this is where measurement matters. The first step in this micro training is I'm going to challenge you for the next 7 days to measure your sleep quality and your sleep quantity, meaning how much you sleep and how well you sleep. The ideal target we're aiming for is 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep. We've already talked about, some of us are going to go, well, my body doesn't let me do that, or I automatically wake up at 4 a.m. So do I. And I put my headphones on, I throw in Pizziz, and I go right back to bed for another hour or two of sleep to get my 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep.
Can you talk about that really quick?
Sure.
So that habit of, I naturally wake up at that time.
Yep.
So I want to share a personal story real quick, which was when our son was born. Don't mind the rooster. When our son was born, I also ended up naturally waking up throughout the night, not just because of him crying, but sometimes he'd cry, and then the next night at 2 a.m. he didn't cry, but I was still waking up. And I think what we miss there is challenging, is that what's natural, or is it what you've programmed your brain and body to do? Is it a habit that you created because as soon as you wake up, you grab your phone and your brain becomes active and it's like, okay, we're on for the day. And there's this stimulation that's happening and getting it going instead of thinking, no, it's time for sleep. And so I really encourage you, if you are like waking up throughout the night or rising super early and really priding yourself on that, if you don't have something to track it and really see, how are my biometrics looking to see if I'm actually needing more sleep or not? Because truthfully, the answer may not be that you're naturally waking. It could be that you've conditioned your brain and body to wake at that time. And so, like you said, a way to overcome it is, instead of going and turning on, do a habit, instill a habit that makes you go back to sleep. Like you put in headphones and you use the Pizziz app and it knocks you right back out.
Yep.
All right, cool. Thank you.
And so step one, we need to know what the trend is. And like I said, the trend can be your best friend or the trend can be your worst enemy, but you have to know how you're trending. And so you need a way to track, a way to measure. You can't improve something if you're not willing to measure it. So we need a measurement around your sleep. This is one of the first things I do when clients come and work with me, whether they're investing in our Core 4 program, a couple $100 a month, or they're a personal client at $500,000 a year. Either way, the first thing I have them do is strap on a sleep tracker, and we start to get real on the actual quality of their sleep. And we're looking at quantity. When are you going to bed? When are you waking up? According to Kristen Holmes, who's the head performance researcher at Whoop, she said the number one thing that can improve your heart rate variability, which is directly correlated to your longevity, how long you live, according to $1 million study in Silicon Valley, number one biomarker to watch, she said, is going to bed and waking up at the exact same time. So if you don't have one of these fancy sleep trackers, the first thing you can do is measure, when do you go to bed and when do you wake up? That could be your very first baseline measurement that you measure for 7 days. Are you going to bed and waking up at the exact same time? Second thing you can measure, if you do have one of these cool trackers, we're going to measure, how long did you sleep? How many hours did you actually sleep? And what was the quality of your sleep? We're aiming for 20% REM, 20% deep, 7.5 to 8 hours of total quantity, 20% REM, 20% deep. If you can measure into that and get that as the goal, then step one is, where are you in comparison to the target? What part of that do you need to optimize? Do you need more duration of sleep? Do you need better quality of sleep? Hi, I'm over here. Do you need
chase this chicken off. Okay.
Listen, sometimes in life we chase chickens and we don't realize how it affects our sleep. So come on back.
That's why I don't usually do these here. Okay.
And
Where
so
are we
we're
at?
looking at
What do
the
you think?
trend. Where are you in comparison to the dream target? And the dream target is 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep. Number one, where are you trending? Number two, we got to set a goal. Depending on where you're at, the second piece is we got to figure out what part of it do you need to improve? Do you need better quantity? Do you need better quality? Do you need better efficiency? Do you need an efficiency with sleep is when you lie down in bed, are you able to boom, go straight to sleep? And do you stay asleep or do you wake up? I have a friend and family member who woke up an average of 127 micro times per night. We were like, why is he waking up so much? That's crazy. And we didn't know that until we started measuring. It turned out he was having some sleep apnea issues, and there was a couple fixes, and all of a sudden, boom, the quality of his sleep went up. And so we've got to figure out quantity, quality, where do you need improvement? Once you know what needs to be improved, we have a really cool gift from us to you, which is step 3. Pick your strategy of how you will improve it. And when I say strategy, we have a worksheet that has 21 different ways you can optimize your sleep. And so what we're going to do is if you comment below this video, wherever you're watching it, I know it's on all the platforms, what do they need to comment?
Sleep Ninja.
Sleep Ninja. If you write the word Sleep Ninja below this video, we will go ahead and send you a direct message that will have a link to the worksheet that has 21 different ways you can optimize your sleep quantity and quality as our gift from us to you. Absolutely free. We'll just send it to you via direct message. So if you're interested in that worksheet, just comment Sleep Ninja right below this video. We'll go ahead and send that to you. But let's start at the beginning. So 3 steps. Number 1, trend is your friend. Hopefully. We're going to find out how are you trending. Number 2, what's the gap? What part of our sleep do we need to dial in? What do we need to do to improve this? And once we know exactly what we need to improve and by how much, the step 3 we're going to do is comment Sleep Ninja right below this video. There you go. April did it. Sleep Ninja. April, we will send this to you right below the video. And once you're there, then what we'll go ahead and do is send you a direct message with the worksheet so you can use that to figure out which of the 21 tips you can immediately apply and see an improvement in your sleep quantity and hopefully quality. So that's our micro training. I hope you enjoyed it. Any other words from my beautiful, amazing co-host?
We have just a couple minutes left. So I was curious to know, when you have implemented this with a client of yours, what kind of results have you seen for them?
Life-changing results. Yeah. So I've had people come and tell me, you don't understand, at this stage of my life, I only sleep 20 minutes or I only sleep 4 hours and my body just won't stay asleep. And I was like, that is nonsense. There's a story you're telling yourself. You need to get a new story that I am a sleep ninja, which was our affirmation for fun. And then we need to retrain some habits. Someone can say, I just don't need it. My body just doesn't do it. You can train your body to do anything. I mean, and I'm trying to think of a better example, but if someone could train a bear to ride a bicycle, like you can train your body to get high quality sleep. And we talked about yesterday the importance of having a sleep role model, someone you actually look up to that gets great sleep. And we discussed, I was in a family that talked about sleep was for lazy people. Sleep was for unsuccessful people. So I had to rewire some of my beliefs that sleep is for high achievers. Sleep is for successful people. Sleep is for high performers. I had to rewire that in my own head before my body would allow me to get high quality sleep and enjoy it. Yeah. Really, really love it. Really take pride in it. Not just be like, oh, that again. Like really be like, I did it. Yes, this feels great.
Yeah.
And so there's concept. Oh, we got some more sleep ninjas coming in.
Yeah, there's
concept. It. Good work, Roxanne. We will get you that worksheet. And so this overall concept, if you want the worksheet, comment Sleep Ninja below the video. We'll go ahead and send you a direct message with it. But the piece that happened with some of my clients was we increased the quantity of their sleep, the quality of the sleep. They had quicker weight loss happen in their life, which was amazing. They were always struggling with that extra 5 or 10 pounds, and all of a sudden it released from their body. We had people's heart rate variability go ahead and go up. We had all kinds of benefits. Their mood was better. They felt like they were happier in their day-to-day life. Like a lot of magic happened in their life just by making these adjustments. And we didn't have to make all 21 adjustments for them. We just had to make 3 really, really good ones for them. Couple questions coming in. Roxanne asked, does the time you sleep matter? Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. And more important than which time, the more important factor is the same time.
Yes.
Meaning, if you go to bed at 10, see if you can go to bed at 10 every single night. And if you wake up at 6, see if you can wake up every day at 6. If you can nail the sleep and wake time consistently, that will create the largest improvement of your heart rate variability, which is one of the number one biomarkers you can measure for longevity, how long you will live. Yes. Jane says, I'm struggling with my cup of death intake, AKA coffee, and get up at 4. I know I need better quality sleep pattern. Would love the worksheet. We will get you that worksheet.
And awareness is the best first step. I appreciate that you just owned it, Jane, and you know that you need to do better and you will do better. Yeah, we'll get you that worksheet.
Yeah. And getting rid of that cup of coffee, depending, and so let me throw this in here because this part's really important. If I say coffee's bad, we'll get 1,000 people commenting being like, you don't know what you're talking about. And as I say coffee's good, we'll get 1,000 people commenting saying, you don't know what you're talking about. I had someone message me one time from Dubai and say, I need to know what the perfect diet is. The perfect diet, the most useful diet. Yes, the cup of death. I love that. So they said, what is the most useful
that sounds
diet?
Like something Jarek would say.
There's a funny story about that. I'll tell you in a second. But they needed the best diet. And I said, well, let me ask you this. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Do you think that a world champion power lifter or bodybuilder should be eating the same thing as a world champion triathlete or marathon runner? Do you think we should be putting the same exact fuel and the same quantity of fuel into both of those people trying to do those sports? Let me say it a different way. Should we be putting jet fuel that is for jet airplanes into cars with the thought of, well, jets go really fast, so if we put jet fuel in it, maybe the car will go really fast? Anyone who knows anything about engines would go, no, it doesn't work that way. You will break the engine. It doesn't process that fuel correctly. It's not built for that. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say all of us have a different engine inside of us, and very few of us know what fuels are actually correct for our engine. Very few of us. This used to be reserved for the super elite athletes on earth or the billionaires who paid someone to come do the research for them, where they would have them take blood tests, DNA tests, all kinds of exams to figure out what is the right fuel for this engine to be operating at peak performance. People don't like to accept this. So what people generally do is say, well, this fuel works for me, so that's the best fuel for everybody. And then these big fad ideation diets come to life and they start telling everyone, you have to be doing this. This is the thing. Jet fuel is great for jets. It's not great for cars. And you got to figure out what kind of engine you have. And nowadays they're making it less and less and less expensive to go get those tests done. We'll do another micro training on that later. But we'll actually show you where you can go to get those tests done to find out what is the proper fuel you should be putting in your engine, your body, to get the highest level of performance back out of it. Okay, the cup of death story. I remember when I was in high school, there was Barnes and Noble and Starbucks that a bunch of really cute girls used to go study at. And I was like, man, I really want to hang out with those people and be friends. And I did not drink coffee, but I was like, it'd be awkward for me to just sit in the coffee shop without drinking coffee and try to talk to people who are drinking coffee. So I decided to order whatever they were ordering and got my cup of whatever and drank it and hang out and talked and made friends. And after a while, I noticed I'd go home and my hands were shaking. And I was like, that's probably not a good sign for my body. So I remember I had to reprogram in my mind what this coffee was to get myself to stop with the bad habit, because it wasn't healthy for me. I mean, if my hand's going like this throughout the day, that's not a good response. And so I personally needed to get rid of coffee. I know now coffee can be used very specifically as a performance tool to shed calories or to do very specific things, but most people don't use it for that. Most people just got into the rhythm of drinking it at some point in their life and didn't realize you can have more energy through breath work, more energy through certain breathing routines or certain exercise routines, that actually the energy comes up and stays up. It doesn't have that hard drop. Better sleep will do that too. Cold plunges, there's all kinds of stuff that can get you just as much mental clarity and energy without any of the negative side effects. Anyways, part of the reprogramming in my head was I started calling coffee a cup of death. And I would challenge myself. I'm like, if I'm going to drink a cup of death and kill myself, why don't I be brave and just go straight for rat poison? And I would say these insane statements to myself to get my nervous system to think that when I saw coffee, I'd be like death. And I did it so strongly. I never forget. I walked in college, like 5 years later, I successfully got myself off coffee. I walked in college class. I sat down next to a friend who just picked up her warm cup of coffee. I sat down and she said something to me. And my smart aleck remark was like, at least I don't drink cup of death every morning. And she looked at me and went, took it, threw it in the trash and goes, thanks a lot. You just cost me $5. And I looked at her, I said, no, I just saved your life. You think you're losing $5. I just gave you 12 months of your life back by kicking that bad habit. And her and I forever went back and forth teasing each other. She's like, I'm off a cup of death now. But I'll tell you something special. I just talked to a close friend who I worked with for a year and a half. And I taught him that story and he laughed about it in the beginning, but he just told me he hasn't touched a cup of coffee for the last year and 3 months. His blood pressure's down, his weight loss is shedding. And he said his entire life has been moving in the right direction since he's made a few of those micro decisions and stuck with them. And so as silly as that joke is and as fun as it is, it will change your life if you choose to reassociate that and let go of that habit. Anyways, let's wrap this up. We promised it'd be around 20 minutes for everyone. This is our micro training, 3 steps. Number 1, trend is your friend, hopefully. Figure out what your trend is of your sleep quality and quantity. Number 2, figure out what the gap is. What part of it needs improvement? Number 3, we have 21 tips to optimize your sleep in a worksheet. All you need to do is comment Sleep Ninja below this video. We'll send you a direct message with the worksheet itself so you can take what tips you can find, apply 3 of them, improve your sleep, and we hope that's helpful.
You crushed it. Great work. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
One last shout out. We have a cohort of new members joining our Performance Coach University training program starting February 5th. If you're watching this and you have a big heart, you care about other people, and you want to learn some skills and tools, number 1, to do some self-coaching and improve your own life, and number 2, to help guide other people to becoming happier, healthier, stronger, and more fulfilled, all you need to do is comment or send me a direct message that says, I want to be a coach. We will send you all the information on how to apply to be in our February 5th cohort. We have some Sleep Ninja comments coming through. We're so grateful for you all. Hopefully you have a wonderful day. Nice to see you all. And we'll see y'all later. Bye.